Now, in our first story, the coalition of NGOs in health have expressed concern about the rate of spread of COVID-19 in Ghana after President Akufo-Addo revealed last night that one person was responsible for spreading the virus to about 533 others in a fish factory at Tema. Speaking on News Desk, President of the coalition, Gabriel Benaku, wants governments to enforce the social distancing protocol through legislation.
Those people affected and their families. So we think that if only that is the exact record, then it means that our treatment is not responding well.
And so you think that we should revise the treatment method, and especially I want you to look at this within the context that we have a lot of the cases being asymptomatic, and we are told by the Ghana Health Service that quite a number of them, significant number of these numbers or cases are being treated at home. Should we revise that? Should we have a case where every person who is infected would spend at least some minimum time at the treatment center?
You see, Ghana, we started doing well, and sometimes I have issues with the advisors to the president. Sometimes we are doing well, and before you realize, they give another strategy that try to undo all the gains we have made. If we had progressively done the partial lockdown, we would have stopped the virus by now. Now, when the president lifted the partial lockdown and instituted the state strategies, yeah, we lauded, but we said, if you notice, 3 weeks ago, we warned that then you need to double your investment and logistical support for the state strategy. And one of them is when you trace and test, or when you are tracing, you know human beings are lazy if you don't supervise. Then you leave people at their very home without putting in the proper mechanism. Then they have the opportunity to move around. So all that we need to do is we should review some of those protocols that are not working well. If people are at home and they are not working, let's compare scientifically. As government, let us believe that they are working within science. If they are working within science and data, what they need to do is that those who have quarantine, how fast are they responding to treatment? And those who are quarantined in their personal home, self-quarantine, how effective is that working? They need to show us the data to tell us that those who are self-quarantine, this is the rate of improvement. Those who are mandatory quarantine at the health facility, this is the improvement. And then we can move from there. Otherwise, it's not giving us a clear picture. Sometimes you get confused about how the whole thing is being managed. But it shouldn't be a case that the team is trying to keep some information to themselves and then try to let the public begin to wonder, and that can also cause the fear and panic as the people I'm talking about. So I think that let's review, they should provide statistics on those who have been home quarantined. How fast are they responding to treatment? And how are they responding to the guidelines at home? Vis-a-vis those who have been properly quarantined to provide treatment. How effective is that one, and how are they responding to treatment? And that record should be shown for every Ghanaian. And in fact, it should be published for just like what they are doing on the cases. If we do that, then we can all have that confidence in some of the strategies. But I do know that the best strategy for us to do is to restrict people when they are suspected.
Still on this story, Director of Institutional Care Division of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel KABA, says home care is currently not an option for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. Speaking on News Desk, he revealed data available to the Ghana Health Service indicates patients on admission at the various treatment centers respond better to treatment as compared to those at home.
And let me say this. I do understand why so many people are worried about our recovery rate, but there are some few things we need to really understand, and everyone will be on the same page. One is the way we do the testing, which everybody now knows that when you get positive in Ghana confirmed, you have to wait for 14 days. Then after that, we do one test negative, then the second test. And until we get the 2 tests negative, we will not declare you recovered. Everybody knows that now,
yes.
Which I think is a good news, and I think it's a standard we want to establish, and based on the advice and from WHO and other countries that are also doing that. Now, the second thing is this.
Before you move on, Dr. KABA, just some quick information on that. When you test negative for the first time, how long does it take to have the second test done?
Here's the point. You stay with us for 14 days.
14 days.
So the 14, we do the first test.
Okay.
If it's negative, 24 hours later, we do the next test because it's a serial thing.
There you go.
So you do one on the 14th. If it's negative, the next day, 15th, we do the next one, right? There should be 24 hours. It's a serial thing. So, and that is exactly where I want us to all go to, and so that people will be very calm when it comes to recovery. I'll use a typical example, like what happened with the latest cases that we've been able to confirm, the 500 and over cases.
Yes.
Now, those 500 and over cases, none of them will be declared negative until minimum the next 17 days, which means that they will be kept for 14 days. The 14 will do one test, the 15 will do the next. So let's say we receive the results by the 16th and the 17th before we can say they are recovered, which also means that we have to be patient and wait till at least a minimum. Anytime someone is confirmed, at least we have a minimum of 16 days to say the person has recovered, because when you consider the test done. So if we are expecting that these 500 people will contribute directly into our recovery within the next 1 week, it might not be so. So people need to understand that time frame that we keep the people. COVID is one of the things that requires a lot of patience when it comes to treatment and recovery using this kind of standard. So until the next 14, 15, 16 days time, we will not be talking of recovery of those people. So they will be contributing less. So although our figure is not rising, there will be a day that if we have isolated, I'm just giving an example, if we isolate 100 people today as I talk to you, the same day, those 100 people that we isolate this very day, until 14 days time when we do the first test, then 15 days we do the next test, that which means we will get the results on the 16th, because 14th you get the result 15th, 15th you get the result 16th, right? Let's say if it's all things being equal, no delays. If then it means that we shouldn't be expecting these people to contribute to recoveries until this time period.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Health Service is expected to announce a strategy to deal with the surge and fast spread of the virus in Tema. Let's take you back to Parliament, where the Supreme Court's Justice nominee Clement Honyenuga is calling on President Akufo-Addo to grant amnesty to most prisoners who have committed misdemeanors so COVID-19 does not spread in our correctional facilities. He's currently before Parliament's Appointments Committee, where he is being vetted for the position. Now, as you can see there in your shot, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa is in the Appointments Committee chamber. This is because the minority has returned to the chamber after earlier staging a walkout. Let's rejoin them.
Of this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think for a very long time, these legal reforms have been taking place. All this more than 15 years. These legal reforms have been taking place. And as at now, I must say, and we are all aware of the e-justice. The e-justice is in place. The case distribution system is now, it has now covered all superior courts in Ghana and the circuit courts. Case distribution, even in the Supreme Court, electronic case distribution is now covered all the courts.
I'm sorry, my lord, if I may be more specific, I'm referring to legal education.
Oh,
legal education,
okay.
yes, legal education.
Oh, yes. With respect to legal education, I must say that the judicial service is doing very well. Almost every judge or magistrate in the service have been trained at the Judicial Training Institute on any available subject matter. As soon as the subject matter comes in, the director of Judicial Training Institute invites all of us, I mean, in the court, high court, magistrates, circuit courts, circuit court judges, high court, court for appeal, Supreme Court, and they organize workshops or seminars for us on the respective topics. So in this respect, I would say that we are very much on top of it with regard to legal education. We are doing our best in the circumstances. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Honorable Minister for Works and Housing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the first Deputy Speaker of our Parliament. Mr. Chairman, if you permit me, I will dwell a little bit on the CV and I'll ask my substantive questions. Yeah. Justice Clemens Jackson Onyanuga, I've appeared before you. One of the things I respect so much about you is your intellectual humility. And I saw you as a listening judge, and I know that when you are elevated, you keep these qualities. They are very, very, very powerful tools that you have. Do you think that in your CV, or in any good CV, and you are an adult male, you should state the number of wives you have? Because you said marital status and number of children. Yes. So do you think we should know the number of wives you have so that we can appreciate the marital status and the number of children?
Honorable Minister, what was your question?
I was asking the Justice of the Court of Appeal that does he think that a CV should divulge the number of wives, because he's been bold enough to say marital status and number of children. I'm asking that, is it proper or is it not appropriate to also state the number of wives?
If you want to ask, please ask him.
I'm grateful. If I wanted to ask, so I'm grateful. My Lord, having regard to, your status now, would you be kind enough to share with the committee the number of wives you have?
Mr. Chairman, I am very grateful for this question. I have only one wife. Yes. Despite being a chief, I'm a practicing Catholic. And if you look at my CV, you will see that I've done a lot of work for the Catholic Church. Yes, I have been on a lot of their national committees. I've been a solicitor for the diocese, and therefore I have only one wife.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My Lord, you were trying to state at the last page references. Yeah. Did you mean to say referees? Yes, because when we normally do references as if we should read some academic one.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I agree with you, Chairman.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never included any practicing lawyer. They are all judges. All your referees are one of your kind. But is there no lawyer who can attest to who you are and the rest of it? Okay. So
there are several.
Very well.
Mr. Chairman.
Very well.
There are several.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I want to go to my substantive questions now. My Lord, a question was asked about whether there are political cases, but probably the way it was captured. I want you to revisit this. Yes, because we know that the Constitution is a political document. And when people come to the Supreme Court, they come for interpretations. So you have cases like Tufua versus Attorney General. It had political ramifications. And the last one, which was even more serious, was the 31st December case. That is MPP versus the Attorney General, as to whether state funds should be used in celebrating the 31st December revolution. So they want to say that they have political dimension, not that they are political cases as if. So let me ask this question with this background. Do you believe that justices should consider political dimensions of controversial cases? That's my first question.
Yes, my lord. Yes, Mr. Chairman. I do not agree to that because as a judge, you have taken an oath to do justice to all manner of people, and therefore, if a case comes before you, there is no reason why you should look at it with political eyes. Yes, I don't think that should be the case. You listen, you apply the law, and then you deliver your judgment with regard to the evidence that was laid before you. Yes, so I don't think that should be the way, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My second question. How
Away from that part of the country, the embattled husband whose wife connived with her boyfriend to murder him says he has long forgiven his wife. 55-year-old Kujo Gator is also pleading for leniency with the wife, with whom he has 4 kids. Mavis Brepo, also known as Ohima, 27, and her 51-year-old boyfriend Patrick Asare were arrested by police at the Menchia Divisional Command after the attempted murder. The two were remanded into police custody when they first appeared before the Asokwa magistrate. My colleague Ohiming Terrier has been following the story.
The Gators have lived happily since 2007 until suspect Isaac Asare was led to them by some residents in search of accommodation. Mr. Gator granted the request and offered the stranger shelter in his house for free. That perhaps marked the beginning of a difficult times to come for the family.
After me who say why me and from Subia, Mamma Munyami, ne or say on in the back say be pedan. Nam so me and fine. Tis all fools or better 2 weeks, 3 weeks, be now the copeda in there. Met man. Fine, on also catch them say I want to pay. And I made a man until no na metiti and Zembina made me some permanent money free.
On Mr. Gator's blind side, Asare, a former Division 3 football coach, began an amorous relationship with his wife. The tenant allegedly hatched a plan to eliminate Mr. Gator, first through food poisoning, with Mavis as the executioner. After the plot failed, a neighbor later hinted Mr. Gator of a suspected relationship between his wife and Asare, for which his host evicted him.
Obi ketere me say Asare no na otumi hu say adwa no ekoben no ono no nchen ono bench so me frɛ me adwa ketere say mate say yesi woni Asare no etra eben bench so obawade for de yenye sa ono so ketere me say dabi enye no kure ana me so me de me twa so because me nti o me say ebia o ma yede ofri ne ho dem api ente no mu na me so me de ketere say Asare no onye de ofri me fia hanko.
Police from Menchia Division in Kumasi subsequently traveled to Achimpami to arrest Mavis after Asare had been picked up in Kumasi a day earlier. Reports suggest Asare had confided in a friend in Western North region to arrange a buyer of Mr. Gato. He was, however, arrested in Kumasi on his way to collect money from CID personnel who feigned interest in a clandestine transaction. Now, a traumatized Mr. Gato says he believes his wife had been influenced by a spiritual force against him and he wants her freed.
Oh, man, bro, so on for you. I don't know, Mammy. But also, you're not being said, as I didn't want to me, say, me, did. And then said, now didn't know first pan, will be seen a to me more money or send it as a nano ati. I was asking by when I buy it. Now, no more do action. I'm said, yes, me to me who say, I could have to me, no, yes, I don't know, but soon be any working. Sanka, one yet, sa made sa a drone one camera, assembly, no, going to mean so, and yes, I don't know. And to me, the Obama or on the own could by Meride, Bonibia, meaning any Fakabia, Madame in the Bonachano.
Relatives say Mavis's arrest and absence are taking a toll on the family. Here is a 50-year-old mother, Mercy Aisi.
Me bana to be a woman day. With me was a young and adjune. Me bana be out to make catch them, Baba catch them. I made to me a baby cry to Miss C. So Bana my crown on and a baquia. Obama say on the open idea. Tema bana de yan adwene nti mesrem mfa muam na me menam no wo sha wo ni me krampo so kam masema ye mobo wo wiasem.
From Achimpami in the Atiwa West District for JoyNews, Ohiminteria reporting.
It's so live on JoyNews today. On that note, we'll take a breather here and return with business. Stay with us. Now, as the fight against the novel COVID-19 pandemic continues, most farming communities have not received personal protective packages donated by government and the corporate world. This is according to the Bono East Regional Director for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Madam Cecilia Keja Ajimine. She says it is worrying and needs to be checked. She made the call when Olam Ghana Cash, a leading agribusiness company, donated COVID-19 PPEs worth over 50,000 Ghana cedis for distribution to farming communities in the Bono East, Savannah and Bono regions. Anna Sabit has more.
The COVID-19 case on March 12, 2020. Several donations have been made by the corporate world towards the fight against the pandemic. However, most of these donations are being made in urban areas with the farming communities receiving little or no attention. As a result, Olam Ghana Cashew, a leading global agri-business company, have donated items worth over 50,000 Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to be distributed to farming communities within the Bono East, Bono and Savannah regions. Mr. Yusuf Amankwa is the branch manager of Olam Ghana Cashew.
I'm here today to fulfill one of our corporate social responsibilities, considering the current pandemic that we are all faced with. We have seen this as a proactive step, even though in the Bono East region we have not recorded a case. But as a business, we have taken a proactive step to see how we come in collaboration with MOFA, who are our partners in this whole business. Because if farmers are sick today, where do we get the produce from? So this step is to ensure that we see to the safety of our farmers and our own selves as people to fight this COVID.
Mr. Yusuf Amankwa indicated that the items will be sent directly to farming communities within the 3 regions.
So this one, overall in all 3 regions, this goes around 50,000 Ghana cedis in terms of total costing. The MOFA director will lead us through to distribute this across those areas. So this is what we are doing. So this is going directly to the farming communities.
Receiving the items on behalf of the directorate, Bono East Regional MOFA Director, Madam Cecilia Kaja Ajiman, lauded Olam Ghana Cashew for the gesture, adding that it would go a long way to help in the fight against the pandemic.
It's a good gesture. And we want to say thank you to Olam. And we're hoping that they will continue to do a lot more. It's really going to support in that fight because we are urged, everybody is being urged to wash their hands regularly. And so if we have the Veronica buckets, we have the sanitizers, the wipes or the towels, they will go a long way to support our farmers.
Madam Cecilia called on the farming communities to do away with the myth that farmers are exempted from being infected with COVID-19.
They are myths because the COVID-19 is no respecter of any person. Yeah, anybody at all can contract it. So farmers cannot exempt themselves. They can contract it. If they are careless, they will certainly contract it.
She, however, called on farmers to strictly adhere to the safety protocols as stated by health authorities.
They all need to stay safe. They need to obey the protocols that have been put in place. They need to listen to what government and the Minister of Health are saying.
Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Back to the port, and Meridian Port Services Limited successfully completed the entire Phase 1 works of the Tema Port expansion project, also known as Terminal 3 of Tema Port. As per the terms of the concession, MPS Terminal 3 was expected to go live on June 28, 2019 on 2 berths, and the entire Phase 1 works were due to be completed on June 28, 2020. Both due dates were successfully achieved and works were completed ahead of schedule. The new harbour basin was created on a 3-kilometer-long beach directly on the Atlantic Ocean and right on the Meridian timeline. Building into the sea from the beach, the breakwater route goes 1,550 meters into the ocean with a 2-kilometer-long arm extending eastward from the route of the breakwater parallel to the quay wall. The 3,558-meter-long breakwater is harboring a vast 450-hectare or 1,110 acres of maritime waterfront. That's huge. But so are the latest stories in sports, brought to you by Nathaniel Atto. Stay with us.
Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, Ghanaian rapper Joey B, in a recent interview on Joy FM, has revealed, unlike other entertainers, he has not been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Tonga hitmaker says because he has other businesses on the side, he's okay.
The tip already.
Yes, me the greens.
Greens with the
greens. With the greens.
Contomere soup.
Greens, contomere, those are spinach.
Greens with the bank. But let's talk about Charlie COVID-19 entertainment.
Here no conf.
Hip hop, performance, songs. How has it affected you,
Charlie? I mean, Black, you did the industry inside.
Right.
You know. Say we want a job, no. You know,
people,
like crowd and right now, no, we know if you do all of those things anymore. And if you look inside too, if you're not working with any other like companies and like